Alright, welcome back to another video. It's August 7th today. So we're over here in the dairy barn. It's the afternoon. We're working on this TMR mixer here, just a general service on it. So yeah, this is a Rissler TMR mixer. It's a V975. It has just over 2,700 hours on it. So we're gonna do a full service on it. Yeah, mainly just this motor. We're gonna grease the mixer too, but yeah, we're gonna do an oil change, spark plugs, fuel, filter, and air filter. Yeah, so 2,700 hours on it. We've changed a couple things now since the last time I sold this mixer. One of them is the tires. This mixer's really good. Don't have really a bone to pick with it other than tires and the wheels up there. Kept getting flat tires on this mixer, so we switched over to foam filled. I still have it laying here in the barn. Foam filled worked for us for a little bit, but we ended up having issues. You can see here we ended up splitting the rim on the last one we did, along with having issues with the foam coming out of the tires prematurely. So we went to these are forklift tires. So they're rated for the weight. They do ride a little rougher than foam or air filled, and they aren't as grippy, so I have a harder time feeding cows outside. The other ones kind of had those nice treads on them versus these ones don't. So yeah, it's our mixer. We're mixing 9 loads a day on a busy day, but we're anywhere between 5 to 9 loads a day. 4 or 5 of those are milk cow loads, and then 4 of them are in the heifer barn. So this thing does a lot of work for us. Mix and feed around 3 hours a day during the summer. But yeah, absolutely loving it. I believe this is our 3rd Rissler mixer, but this is the 2nd one that I've run. For this one, we had a V960. I ran that one a little bit too, but Dad did most of the feeding still when we got that. But once we got this one, pretty well I started doing a lot of the feeding. So yeah, most of those 2,700 hours, at least probably over 1,700, I've put on this mixer, and I really enjoy it. So yeah, anyway, we're gonna get right into servicing this thing now. So we're gonna drain the oil out and change the filter. So I pulled the drain plug, last bit of oil's just running out. You can see somewhere on this mixer there was a little bit of an oil leak the last time. You can just see all the junk. I don't know if it was on the filter or if it was on drain plug side of things. That is a brand new drain plug, but it wasn't quite a Honda one. It was just the right thread pitch and everything and size, so it's aftermarket. But yeah, it always had enough oil. Pull the dipstick all the time, it was never low, so good there. This TMR mixer also had a low engine oil indicator. I ended up unplugging that because I believe the indicator was giving us full sorts. When you drive around, the oil would move around and TMR mixer would shut off. So I ended up unplugging it around 200 hours ago, and I just never bothered putting in a new one. But yeah, we really haven't had any problems doing that. As long as you pull the dipstick and check the oil every couple of days, you're fine. It doesn't really leak that much oil either. So a little bit of oil can make a lot of mess. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna take the filter off, and then we'll put a new filter on too. Would we really be doing an oil change if we weren't leaking oil everywhere? It is what it is. There we go. There's the old filter off. So, I don't pre-fill filters, but I do always put a little bit of oil around the seal. Obviously this filter you wouldn't be able to pre-fill anyway, but I just never pre-fill filters. Alright, we got motor oil back in. Went ahead and put the new fuel filter on. You can see, look at all that. That inside there's all halids inside the fuel filter along with corn silage. But yeah, it's gonna happen. So we have had issues with fuel on this motor, nothing crazy. Just run some seafoam in there with some carb cleaner, flush it all out, and then it runs perfectly fine. So yeah, it's also because of got ethanol in the fuel, and that causes some issues now too. But we don't run premium through this thing, we just run regular gas. And yeah, if it starts to act up, dump some seafoam in there, run it through, and it'll run perfectly fine again. So yeah, working on spark plugs now. There you go, there's the spark plug that came out. There's two of them. This is the one that'll go back in if I can get it out of the box. There we go. Yeah. Got a new air filter too. A new one, old one. So yeah, I got a new air filter on. Here's what the old one looks like. You can just see. Full of stuff. So that's why I just get a new air filter every time and I don't blow them out. Because, yeah, they're always full of grain and halids. Yeah. So I know you can do that. I have done it with the odd piece of equipment we own, but not this TMR mixer. So yeah, gonna do feeding. After feeding, I'm gonna grease it just because I got to grease inside the mixer, but there's feed in there right now. So yeah, there you go. Pretty windy out tonight, so that's why feed's blowing like that. Generally it's not this bad, but generally it'll land really nice, but yeah, now it's kind of blowing a little that way. There you go, now that we're behind the barn, it's kind of how it lands. But yeah, we're feeding cows. Just see how much cleaner that fuel filter is. Alright, it's after feeding now. You can see I got the grease gun out. So, inside the mixer here, there's two grease fittings. They're inside these screws here. You can see I've greased them both already. Yeah, see? Right there. And yeah, they have these little covers that go on them as well. I just put them on the magnet every time. So, yeah. TMR mixer has a magnet right here, so every time I work on them, stick them there and I won't lose them. Same with all the hardware. So I'm gonna put those back on. There's corn silage in the mixer this afternoon, so I wasn't able to do it till after feeding, but it worked out fine. Alright, it's the next day now. Gonna work on this TMR mixer and finish it up. It's been running fine for us. So yeah, It's actually running a little better. The RPMs rev up a little higher now that fuel filter isn't clogged and the spark plugs are brand new. So no longer running around everywhere using full throttle. So yeah, there's that. So one of the last things we are going to do is underneath the mixer here, we have these chains. You can see them. So actually around the other side of the mixer, there's adjusting screws for them. But you can see how they're getting loose. It's easier to see on this side. Now they're squeaking. Oops, I dropped the phone. Oh well. So we're going to tighten those up. Yeah, we're going to get them nice, snug, and tight. So, I read in the book this morning, there are some ways we can do it. One of them is that adjusting screw back there. That one. That does one chain, and the other one is nice and close here. Just right here. They want 20 foot-pounds of torque or so on each of them. So we're going to do that. We're going to back off that bolt there, and then we're going to tighten it up. So yeah, now we're going to oil the chain because you can see it is getting a little rusty. So yeah, sooner rather than later we might end up putting a new chain on here, but this might get us another couple 100 hours. Alright, I got the first chain tensioned, got it all tightened back up. See, not a lot of play in there. This other chain back in here, if I can get in there to show you guys, still is play. We're going to go ahead and take that play out. There is that tensioner screw there, but we have to loosen off those 4 bolts with blue paint. There's 2 of them there. There's 2 of them underneath. That's what the book told me. Yeah, you can just see all the play in there. It's a little tight to get in there, but looks worse than it is. It's a tight squeeze, but we're getting the play out of the chain. See, it's probably as tight as we need it. So yeah, there's that. Everything just takes a little bit of time, but get the ratchet off the end here. Now we're going to tighten up those 4 bolts again. I was mistaken about the location of the back 2. The back 2 are slightly further back, but I did get them. They were actually in a better spot. So yeah, I'm going to tighten up those 4 bolts again, and then the tensioning nut. And then we'll put oil on everything, and we'll be good. Realized I kind of messed up a bit. It's not a big issue. I took the tension out of this chain here first. Should have took it out of the other chain first, because now this chain up here has play again. So what I did is I set the wheel on that one there. This one has a little push wheel that tensions it. I put it in. So I set it. But they both drive off the same hydraulic motor under the mixer. It's hard to see. But what you do when you tension this one is you actually bring that hydraulic motor back, which brings more play into this one. So it's not a big deal. I just had to do this one twice now. But you can see I can actually turn this one by hand. You can see the chain's getting tighter. Got to go a little more. Now we'll have to get the socket on there, but you get the idea. Alright, there you go. Mixer's running. A whole lot less play in the chain. You can hear it's no longer squeaking. I got oil on them, both of them. So there you go. Ready to go back to work. The only other thing I could do is I could add some more oil to the gearbox. Might do that. So yeah, there you go. Alright, it's feeding time. Dad picked up some more 10W30 motor oil for this TMR cart. So yeah, that's what this gearbox takes. You can see the sticker there. That's pretty hard to see, but that oil glass, this one likes to be 75% covered, so we're about there. Maybe we're a little closer to 80, but yeah, I dumped 5 more liters of oil in here. So there you go. So 2,700 hours all serviced up. The only other thing we'll do at some point is filter in there for that gearbox. Supposed to change them every 500 hours. We really don't do it that often. But yeah, 2,700 hours, and for the first time we added oil to it, so that tells you it's not leaking. So yeah. Anyway, we're gonna feed cows. Alright, we're working on load number 1 of 6 for the night. We're dumping it in the bunk. Yeah, it's running really nice. So, feed goes out of the TMR mixer, up the elevator and down the conveyor and into the bunk. This is our setup for about probably 6 months of the year, and the other 6 months of the year are inside the barn. It all depends on the year. Sometimes we use this for 8 months out of the year, and inside the barn for 4. Depends how soon spring comes and how early winter comes, or late. So yeah, there you go. Goes pretty quick. We're limited on dumping speed more so by the conveyor and or the elevator and the conveyor than the TMR mixer. Mixer can unload pretty quick. There you go, that's feeding done for the night. 1 load to each pen. So, spend a lot of time feeding cows, but this is really the best way to do it in my opinion, TMR. Just for us and our setup, it works really well. I tried some baleage in the TMR the other week and I wasn't completely satisfied with it. So, just for the way we're set up with a smaller mixer, I think haylage is the best way to go. The bigger mixers take baleage a lot better, but yeah, we're really benefiting from it. Small calves in the breeding pen growing a lot faster and whatnot, so we're happy. But yeah, moving a lot of feed through tower silos and bags this way, but really appreciate it and enjoy it. So yeah, the worst part about feeding is that ramp into the silo room. It's getting really wore out and beat. Yeah, kind of sucks. Just have a hard time getting up it, especially with the new tires on the TMR cart. New tires are a lot better, but they aren't as grippy, so they don't climb the ramp as good. So yeah. it's a bit of a struggle. If you get stuck, there's a little pothole here, you get stuck in there, or see, I put limestone on, but after going up and down a couple times, half a bag doesn't go too far. But get stuck right here too. The tire won't climb the curb, so yeah, it is what it is. But it really sucks. So something here will have to be redone. Yeah. Ideally, could start all over again, rip out the ramp. Partly of this issue due to the way it was poured. I've learned, like I wasn't involved in building this, but I've learned when you build ramps, you're supposed to pour the ramp and then pour concrete over top of the bottom so it won't tip, and then over top of the top so it won't tip the other way. So yeah, but this ramp I believe was put in after the silo was built, so kind of sinks away a little bit. But yeah, so TMR cart all maintained, ready to go for a couple more hours again. So last Rissler we put 3,500 hours on before we upgraded. This one we're just gonna keep going past 3,500 hours because it's the biggest that'll fit in our barn. Anyway, thanks for watching.